Hey there, so I'm going to say back another episode of this podcast called One in Room 15B. So today we're gonna do a podcast. That's how it goes. We're not gonna restrict it to some things, but I'm just gonna talk about things that I found interesting this week or things that have happened since the last podcast. Okay, my laptop is very loud. I'm not sure how. Okay, I think it's like it's the same as people, right? So there are people who want to act like they're doing a lot of things, like a lot of stuff. People who want to be seen that they're doing a lot of stuff, but who don't actually do a lot of things. So if you can check my laptop right now, 23% CPU is being used, 37% memory, 2% disk, 0% network. Why is this thing so loud? What could be the reason? Apps open, it's Firefox, Chrome, then this app that I'm recording with here. Only those three, and it uses 14% CPU. Why is this thing so loud then? This is confusing. I think it's like end of life crisis, right? Because this thing is 2 years now, so I think it's a way of saying, okay, man, any day from now on, I might actually die on you or something like that. Because there is really nothing happening, but it's making so much noise. It's like exaggerating, wanting everyone else to see that I'm doing some work, but not really, or really, I'm doing nothing. I think there's a lot of people like those on social media. Most of the time, they're like, I want it to be seen that I'm working, doing some sort of work, being to the library for 5 minutes. And then they start posting pictures of their books or whatever, just to show that I'm at the library. And they continue being on Instagram for the next 30 minutes. They study for the next 15, then be on Instagram for the next hour or whatever. Okay, we're not talking about people here. I think that's me, but I don't post when I study. But that could be me whenever I'm at the library, supposed to study. It just doesn't work. Okay, so what happened this week or last week? An interesting thing happened. Obviously, the trailer for Game of Thrones was released, right? And one could try to give some sort of an analysis for that thing. Obviously, with my limited knowledge, it's a problem. Okay. So for what's this? Okay, I'm supposed to talk for all this thing. Okay, one thing is happening here. So I'm just going through my subscription box here on my subscription box on YouTube, right? So I'm looking for this Game of Thrones trailer thing. I want to watch it and sort of give my analysis. One thing is happening, man. Okay, this thing of coping. I'm not sure. Right? When is it coping? When is it creativity? Where's the line with that? Right? So let's say a person like this PewDiePie, right? He creates a meme review. Then I come on now and also I review memes. Right? There is this guy I think his name is. Okay, forget his name. Obviously, I forget his name. But the videos he does is that he reviews other people's videos. He's an editor, so he reviews people's videos, right? So he'll say there's a travel video, maybe there's this video that is very like famous with filmmakers and whatever. It's called The Watchtower of Turkey. That video is well made, man. So this guy will just watch that video, sort of break it down, how it was edited, right? Each bit by bit, like the important part, mostly the B-roll, right? So whenever the travel videos, more of the time there's the story part. Whenever the person is talking, then there's a part where the person is sort of experiencing, right? So time lapses, hyperlapses, all those things that make up a good video, right? So that's how it happens, right? So this guy always reviews those videos, like from the biggest creators. Sam Colder maybe made a vlog or whatever. He's gonna review this stuff. And now what has happened is that there is now more videos of that stuff. More people reviewing other creators, make other creators videos. Okay, so nice. It has become a genre that there is that part of YouTube. I'm not sure where does it lie, where it's like, where do we draw the line saying this is creativity or this is just a straight up copying. You're just copying this thing. Not sure, man, because I'm also doing a vlog. Okay, maybe it's inspiration. Like, where is the line between inspiration and copying? Because the reason I'm doing a podcast as well is because I listen to Bill Bear, who does podcasts, and also there is Joe Rogan, people who inspired me to also start a podcast. Am I copying or was I inspired? I think I was inspired. Not sure. But I think it's a very fine line between those two, man. And I'm not sure, but I think most of the time, like if you're a creator, right? So a person who's artistic, who has an artistic nature or whatever, you would sort of not allow yourself to just copy most of the stuff. So that's what I trust it is with most people, right? So with me, most of the time, there was a thought that at the beginning that I could just steal people's videos, upload them, and then make a channel, then make money out of that, sort of. That's an easy way of making money, but I wouldn't be proud as a filmmaker, as like a creative person that I've stolen this thing. Even if also, I think the tutorial has been the same, but not that much right now. And this thing, when you're watching a tutorial, then you're applying it, and it feels like you're just copying. You see, that was part of the issue. But I'm more comfortable now applying whatever I learn. Yeah, it's just confusing. Okay, let's watch the Game of Thrones, not tutorial, Game of Thrones trailer. So with Game of Thrones, I think I just rewatched, when was this? I think this was before we opened school. I watched the whole thing from season 1 to season 7, and my prediction is, for the person who's gonna sit on the Iron Throne, I'm thinking it's Lord Varys. Right? There's a scene where Lord Varys says, I think he's talking to Littlefinger. Yeah, they had what's this? They're in the city, was on there. What was this room? There is the throne there. King's Landing. But the room, the actual room where there is that throne that is sitting there. And they're talking, and Lord Varys says, and they're asking each other about the reason they do whatever they do. And Lord Varys just looks at the throne. So I thought maybe that moment had some weight, I think. I think that's the reason why I'm saying, I'm thinking Lord Varys is gonna take the throne. obviously I might be wrong. Because Game of Thrones is a very complicated matter, man. So yeah, let's watch the thing. Was this the trailer? So this is the confusing part. It starts with Arya running, right? So if Arya, it's called Arya, okay, in Game of Thrones terms. If Arya is running, then man, you get this feeling of sort of fear in you, because the way she's breathing, the way she's running, the things that are chasing her, you'd be like, okay, I know this person is a trained assassin. This girl in this thing is a killer, right? But if she's breathing so heavily, being so nervous, running, you must know that something is going very, very wrong. Right?
He's got many faces.
She's very dating. Oh, and also there is this now, the Lannisters, right? Cersei bought this thing, bought the soldiers from, brought soldiers from wherever, where soldiers are bought. I think 20,000 men or something like that. And then now they're coming in here. This guy with the sword, he says, oh no, I'm still here, man. He hasn't died. Didn't the guy die? Jon Snow, they're coming in soon. I think every time, whenever they see dragons, right, most of the time, or I think everyone, the first time they see dragons, there is that thing, that fear within them. I think they do this all the time, every time. All the time. Someone is seeing the dragons for the first time, they're going to have that look in their faces, like that look of awe, sort of, damn, these things, right? It's always like that. Whenever a big character sees the dragons for the first time, it's always that thing. Right? So I think also, who's this game? What's the name of this game? Sansa. Maybe she's being threatened that this girl now is coming in with the okay, so this commentary is boring. This girl, who's this girl? The Dragon Queen is coming in, and it's her dragon. Her dragon is gonna she's gonna take over whatever is saying. This guy, they're making swords. Who's this guy now? Damn, I forget this one. Henry. Yes, Henry. Yeah. So, I'm not sure if Cersei is drinking poison. So there was a scene where Cersei was sitting down. I think it was the battle where Stannis was attacking King's Landing, and then she knew that they were gonna be defeated. So what she did is she just went to the throne, sat there, and had, I think it's called milk of the puppy or something like that, or poison of some sort. She was gonna drink the thing and also drink, make her son, I think Thomas, to drink, Thomas or Tomont, not sure, to drink the thing as well. So right now she's sitting there like in a similar position. She's living in class. So one might assume that that is what's happening here. Maybe the army of the dead is coming down on them, or her army has been defeated and the army of the dead has been defeated. Now they're coming for the throne. So a lot might be happening here. And also, what did I just saw? the two dragons going up there. I'm not sure. Snow and the Dragon Queen, they're going to the dragons, right? Side by side. I'm not sure if both of them are going to ride the dragons, but that should be what's gonna happen, right? Because they are brother and sister, and if they are both the same surname, both the ancestors were the ones who rode dragons to Westeros, so these guys also should get the same privilege, sort of, I think. This guy, Peter, it's Tyrion Lannister. This guy said this season is going to make the Battle of the Bastards seem like it was child's play. It was something very simple. I think they said kindergartens or whatever. So this guy, that fight wasn't very much. It took a long to film him. I think it took them 54 days. Not sure. It took them long to film him, but that I didn't feel that like was a very long battle, sort of, or a very good battle. Not that much action happened. I think there were a lot of moving parts with that battle because there were giants. There were a lot of moving parts. There were giants, and then there were a lot of moving parts, but that fight wasn't that exciting. An exciting part was that one where I think it was called Dragonstone, where the Queen Lady, who's her name? Damn. What's her name? Supposed to search that one. Dragon Queen. Daenerys Targaryen. Damn. Shit. Forgetting all the same things. I'm not sure if this thing will be okay if I'm playing it on, but this is commentary mode, so it should be fine under fair use. Not sure though. And this guy there was this what do we call this guy? The Night King. They are here now. I think they are in front of what was this place? Winterfell. They are going down south. So this is supposed to be the fight between the two armies. Yeah, it's gonna be a big one, man. I'm very excited that I'm like alive at this point in time in history, where series like Game of Thrones, one of the most like epic things to ever hit television, is being released, being alive at that same time as that thing. I think it's very much a thing to be proud of, man. Yeah. And also this week I came across a guy called Kusa or something like that. This guy shoots is it called Kusa? Man. I'm not sure now. Damn. Yeah, I think it's something like that. This guy shoots shoots products, right? So whenever a company, fragrances, whatever, ads for sunglasses, all those things, this guy has like this crane. What is called this robot camera thing that moves like that thing is very nice, man. So I think I'm gonna buy the thing gonna start making money. If that happens, obviously, and shoot some epic footage. Because the thing is used also in movies. So I always wondered, where do they take these thousands of people? Where do they get those thousands of people that are in the movies? How much do they pay for those as well? And also what I found out is that in this movie, I think there's Dunkirk or something, they had 2,000 people around there. But in the movie, there had 2,000 people, but it was only 50. It was only 50 extras were there. And they recorded that thing with only 50 extras. What they did is they recorded see with these cameras, right? These robot cameras, they can be programmed, right, to go a certain, to travel at a certain speed and to go to move in certain positions, right? Rotation, all those things can be, it's called keyframed, right? So they can be keyframed. Let's say this camera is moving like this. It's keyframed to move. You see, this movement is keyframed. It's like programmed to the thing. So if it's programmed, it means it can be repeated. That's what they did with the movie. So they repeated camera motion. So these people kept on changing was the clothes and then positions. So they film them maybe in the car. Some are unloading some stuff. Some are taking guns. Some are doing what? They just make this movement, and then people change, and then the things start again the same movement, and then they there. So whenever they just, and the end part, right? So they film people in different positions, just like what I do when I clone myself. They film people in different positions, then they cut to just put them together. It's one thing. You'd think it's 2,000 people when in fact it was 50. I think the guy also said that it's the same thing. Okay, I'm just gonna look for the guy now because it's a bit confusing. It's okay. So you can search the guy whenever you feel like it. So I think the guy also said that they do the same thing with celebrities most of the time. So you find that celebrities are not all available for something that they want to shoot. So what they do is they use this thing, program movement, to move the camera in a certain way and then go and film that celebrity, or whenever they're available at the same studio, have the same movement as well, and just insert the celebrity in the edit. I think that's a very cool thing to do, right? So it's part of the reason. I think MKPhD, if you don't know who MKPhD is, it's Marcus Brownlee. I'm not sure who you are. Marcus Brownlee, this guy makes YouTube videos. And he also bought this machine. I think it's Kazu Okuda. His profile is ABC123 Kazu. ABC123 KAZU. This guy shoots them, man. His ads are very nice to watch. So having this crane thing, I think it's $40,000 US, which translates to at least 400,000 as South African rands. I think somewhere 600,000. That's too much to buy anything in South Africa. But yeah, I think that's something I'm really interested in using and owning as well. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so this thing is about to. Okay, let me change. Okay, yeah, just change the card. So back to what I was talking about. I think I finished what I was talking about. I think what I want to move on to now is the big topic. I think for the day, what I wanted to actually emphasize on this thing, cryptocurrency. Right? So I think that's a few weeks ago where we as people of the, or citizens of the world, let's say, was it weeks ago though? Or months ago? Okay, I'm not sure. but let's say months ago. What happened is there was a crypto boss that died. So this guy died while having access to this exchange. So cryptocurrency exchange. Okay, so I'm failing to explain. This guy died while being the only one having access to the big key or password to the wallet for the exchange, right? Let's say something like let's say a bank, not a bank. Okay, let's use a bank, right? Let's say a bank had a CEO, and this CEO was the only person able to access the funds, all the funds of the bank. Let's say there was something like that, although unlikely that there is ever something like that. Okay, so and that guy dies, and there is no way of knowing the password now to accessing all these funds. Okay, so in this case there was, I think there was what? In this case there was what? 1.9 billion, right? In rands, I think that's 137 million in US dollars. All right, they were stored. Okay, the crypto exchanges. What is the name of the exchange? This guy had the access to this cold wallet. So this was offline. It's called Quadrica, this stock exchange, right? So this stock exchange kept these funds offline, I think, on a wallet, and this guy was the only one who had access to this wallet. So this guy died, right? Or reportedly or allegedly died. And then when he died, was the only one who had access to these funds. So they believed that they lost the funds, right? But new information has come out. I think Ernst & Young was told to investigate whatever happened there. And it seemed like from the blockchain, what it looked like, there were 14 accounts that were opened. And the money from this account now that had all the crypto, the total crypto, this one account where only the CEO or I think it's the CEO had access, funds had been taken from that account, right? So how they got this information is that they've looked on the blockchain to see any activities relating to that account, and it seems like 14 accounts were opened and this money was distributed to those accounts. So this means that the original account has no money now, so it's empty. They haven't cracked the password or anything, but they know just from looking at the blockchain to see that these are the transactions that happened relating to this Bitcoin wallet, and it seems like the money was emptied from that thing. So this is the problem now. It's an issue of well, where is this guy now? Is it dead? Really? Is this some kind of a fraud? And whatever. This is very interesting, man, because it's like sort of an advertisement for blockchain technology, that everything is transparent, everything is there for everyone to see, and then nothing can be deleted from a blockchain technology. Right? This is an easy way. I'm not sure why they haven't tracked because from those 14 accounts, I think the funds were transferred to other accounts and then emptied as well. So they are not longer in their sort of blockchain or in their. I'm not sure. I don't understand that part of those funds being transferred to certain wallets. I'm not sure if those wallets further transferred them to different wallets than to just screw up with the system or whatever, because that also could be traceable unless they're using another blockchain not accessible to these guys. I'm really not sure about that one, but through these funds were emptied from this thing. Like it was funny in the beginning when everyone thought, okay, this guy just died in 137 million US dollars. Everyone was saying, okay, man, his computers were taken and whatever. They have to be cracked, obviously, and we'll have to get the password. Otherwise, we just made a loss of 137 million. And we've lost people's funds, actually. And also, it turns out this company wasn't keeping accurate records. So there's still a problem with that as well. And yeah, it's a very interesting story, man. But as I've said, it's an advertisement for blockchain, can be applied and can be easy to catch fraud. Why hasn't the fraud been caught in this case? Why hasn't the people who own those accounts been caught? I think it's the decentralization thing, and you can't tell where where the person is unless they've emptied the thing to a bank account, which is how these guys are going to be caught. If that's what they're going to do, unless they're going to bounce it off, I think, millions of accounts. And they're very, what's this? And they're very experienced with whatever is happening here, and then, yeah, they might just get away with it. Those they should be caught by now, but nothing has happened, right? So there is a rumor that this guy actually faked his death, and they're still finding out. It's very interesting. I think I was talking to my mother yesterday, about these crypto things. People are joining a lot of cryptocurrencies, and some of them, not actually cryptocurrencies. Here's what happened. Damn, these lights are draining, man. Damn, they're very helpful to the eyes. Here's what happens, right? With cryptocurrencies, they released a white paper saying, okay, this is how cryptocurrencies, this is how it's gonna change the world, sort of, and this is how it differs from all other cryptocurrencies, and this is how we think this cryptocurrencies of ours gonna be successful due to its use and whatever applications, right? So when they've stated that, you read the white paper and see for yourself, and if you believe in that coin, then you buy those coins, right? Then you store them for interests or as an investment. What people do these days is that they try to multiply their coins. And not only multiply it, but have companies who buy the coins for them and keep it for them while multiplying their investment and paying them out. Definitely a certain, like, a recipe for a Ponzi scheme. It's just evident that these things are Ponzi scheme, because how you earn your money is that if you put in more people, refer more people to this thing, and then they put in money, you get paid more. What products are these people selling? Why are they getting paid? There's no reason. They just promised a fixed interest. Well, man, as you can see, this is the basics of crypto or forever of a Ponzi scheme. Although I'm not researched on this, there's one called Leo. I think they're doing a similar concept, and it should be a Ponzi scheme, but it's continuing running in South Africa and people are getting money. What could you say, man? Seems like a Ponzi scheme to me, but man, maybe there's something I don't know. I'm not saying these guys are okay. I think I'm saying these guys are a Ponzi scheme. Obviously, I don't have that much evidence, so they haven't run away. That's the problem. So when they run away, everyone can say with absolute certainty that they're a Ponzi scheme. But how a Ponzi scheme runs is that there is baseline, then there's people at the top. The more people you put in, the more they push you to the top, right? So whenever you're getting paid just because you're putting in someone and you're not selling a certain product, believe that that's a Ponzi scheme. Better believe that's a Ponzi scheme. It's simple, basic Ponzi scheme. It's a scheme, pyramid scheme, right? That's how they run, right? So anything that does that to me is just a Ponzi scheme, right? and it will run away with people's money. And then, just so silly. Oh, I think relating to that, they just sort of try to introduce a cryptocurrency regulation in South Africa. Implement. I think they were still reviewing the proposed regulations for cryptocurrency. I think it's interesting. I think it's going to protect a lot of people who were just putting in their money to these things. And maybe it's going to be easy now to identify Ponzi schemes and shy away from them, sort of. That's what I hope, and people will stop losing thousands of friends putting their money there. Man, this is boring this week. It's boring this week. Okay, let's move on to... Okay, this is the problem. This is how I don't want this podcast to be. This thing of moving on to news, moving on to. I just want to talk for the whole hour, talk about everything I want to talk about, like smoothly transitioning from one thing to another. Right? I think there's this cryptocurrency called Electronium, right? I think they've partnered with the telecommunications companies in South Africa. I think can buy airtime with them now. And I think the last thing, the annoying thing about this cryptocurrency can be mined using your phone, right? So you can get some coins using your phone. Why is this thing focusing on my hand? Damn. You can get some coins using your phone. But the last time I checked, they didn't have an app for iPhone. And then there was the issue with me. So I could only mine with your Android device. Wait. I think it's there now. Yeah, I think it's there. Can mine with your phone. That's the nice thing with this. Mining with your phone, getting some coins. Yeah. And then like getting airtime at the end, I think, or using the coin for one thing, or just holding the coin for as a sort of an investment till it matures. Talking about iPhones, there is this not proposed. There are news that iPhone is also, or Apple is also gonna make a foldable iPhone. Okay, I don't think we're getting this anytime soon, as I've said previously, but it's going to be exciting to see how Apple designs their phone. Highly unlikely that it's going to be the same as Samsung's, but their patterns show that they've made something of a similar nature, or they're planning to make something of a similar nature. I don't think it's something that we're going to see this year. I think maybe we can see it later next year, or something like that. Maybe they're gonna announce. Unsure. Unlikely as well. But as I've said previously, Apple needs to make a new device. Otherwise, things are gonna be difficult for them. Then, okay, I'm tired. I need to eat. I've been talking for a while. Oh man. I'm going to eat and then come back and then do the last part. Okay, back after eating, right? That's after eating. So this is one of those moments. I think it's more frequent where I'm staying that people are making too much noise and then they're listening their music for everyone. They're playing their music for everyone else to listen to. And then it disturbs people like me trying to record their boring podcasts. So, okay, let's finish this up. I was thinking Elon Musk, right? I want to talk about Elon Musk first. What else? I think there was something before Elon Musk. Okay, let's just go to Elon Musk. So this guy, No, what did I talk about before that? Folding phone, folding iPhone. That is unlikely. I think I said that. I've already said that it's unlikely that Apple will release a folding phone, at least not this year. And then, man, damn. Well, Elon Musk being sued and then security clearance being was reviewed. I'm really not sure how these things go, right? I think the integration of here's where I think there's a disconnect, right? The use of old systems, the integration of old systems like your markets, the way markets work, the way markets react, and the way companies are governed, public companies are traded, and all the stuff, how prices are affected, and then the spreading of news, right? The way news are distributed these days, the amount of news that are generated, how quickly things escalate. I think there's some sort of a disconnect. Not a disconnect, yeah, maybe it could be a disconnect, right? So before this era of social media and whatever, a CEO could do whatever he wanted to do, sort of, and maybe it will take years for anyone to actually find that out, or it will go without anyone actually finding out, right? So whatever a CEO did during his spare time, did wherever in his home or whatever the case may be, didn't actually have an effect in markets, right? Most of the time, like, I don't remember, okay, maybe I'm too young, but I don't remember the actions of a CEO being too scrutinized, right? In most cases, CEOs ended, yeah, I don't remember actions of a CEO being this much scrutinized like this guy. So this guy smoked a weed, I think it was last year, and then the SEC had a problem with that. I think, no. SEC had a problem with that before he even smoked weed, because he said he's taking Tesla private. I think that will be a good thing for him, given his constant fight with the media and whatever. And then when he smoked weed, when he said he's taking Tesla private, SEC considered that as sort of a fraud of some sort, okay, manipulating the markets. What happened is that they ended up saying his tweets should be now reviewed before they come out, and they charged, or he paid a fee of 20 million, and he lost his chairmanship for Tesla. And then what has happened this year is that the guy also tweeted that Tesla is on the road, or he's on the road of making 500,000 cars this year, right? So making 500,000 cars this year, and then that was seen as some sort of a manipulation to the markets, and that tweet wasn't sort of reviewed as per agreement. So there's been an issue as well with SEC with that. Also, yeah, I think people are over it. And also these people who are suing him, like shareholders of Tesla, saying that, no, man, this guy, his image is ruining what Tesla said. I'm not sure where do these people come from, right? So if you follow Elon Musk online, you'll see that he's the coolest guy ever. He posts memes, which is unlike any CEO in the world. Posts memes, replies to funny stories, and does all this cool stuff. So I'm not sure where do these people who are saying, because now company valuation, right, most of the time, like publicly traded companies, so for shares, it's based off of human perceiving of that company, right? And right now, Tesla is at a has a good public image, right? The person who's representing it, obviously, Elon Musk is a cool person, and most people seem to like the guy, right? I'm not sure why you will buy a Tesla stock not knowing who Elon Musk is or how he does his business. And then to go on and say, okay, he tweets now, it's manipulating, or it may have a loss to my shares in the company. I'm not sure how you buy the company without the character himself, because he is Tesla, right? So if you can't have one, why not just sell then the thing? It's a problem. Publicly traded companies, damn, it's an issue. This guy now can't have his freedom of doing whatever he wants to do. And then there's this SEC thing that is always hanging over his head all the time. Yeah, I think I was watching Jordan Peterson yesterday, an interview he did last year, saying it is actually incredible what this guy has done, Elon Musk, and this is incredible that we live during his time. He's done things that were deemed impossible. He has an electric car company, and he has put that company into space. Who else would ever do that? Who else would ever have an idea to do the stuff? Okay, this seems like I'm busy propping the guy or something like that. So let's just move on to Jordan Peterson, the guy I was talking about just now. I was actually amazed. This interview was from last year. What is that company that he was talking to? Let's see, those guys. That video, man, that guy said that he actually, it's value-tainment. It's an hour and 20 minutes. That guy said he once in his life read a book per day. Right? I think that's crazy. I think he had the benefit of not having social media, obviously, because no one on the internet could actually spend a day reading a book for years. So that just seems out of place, right? Been trying to read as well. It's a problem, man. I'm not sure how people do the thing, but I think with others with food practice, I think I'll get there to reading more books and whatever. Also, I think we've seen Bitcoin rising these past few days, going up. So John McAfee still thinks the thing is gonna reach 1 million by next year. We'll see. We'll see how that works. Oh, also there's this cycling thing. I'm not sure if it's happening today or whatever. And I'm not sure what they're protesting. But these guys, they cycle around Cape Town naked. Let's see, naked cyclers. Yeah, I think I saw the thing yesterday. They're cycling naked. Okay, how do you sit on the bike naked? Like if you're a guy, how does that work? Naked cyclers in Cape Town. Okay, so I think you've listened to the most boring podcast there is out here. No, man. Okay, they're not showing the stuff. But I saw it on Facebook yesterday that there are guys who go around Cape Town. I think they're protesting some sort of whatever. So they're cycling around naked. Cool initiative, I think. But kids have to be gotten out of the street, obviously, because they can't be traumatized like that at a young age. Yeah, man, I think this is it obviously. I said I wanted to do a story almost every week, right? Thing is, I don't have a story this week. I didn't put anything together. Let's see, can I tell you the funny story? Okay. No, I can't. Not today. Yesterday I had them. This thing happened. I had my hair cut, right? So it was bigger than this, obviously. So it had to go down, right? So there's a problem. I think I'm gonna publish a video in a few days when I'm done editing. It's talking about my hairline, right? So my hairline was ruined when I was a kid, somewhere yeah, right? So I was doing grade 6, grade 6, standard 4, that is. I think it was grade 6 or 7. So we were playing football, so it was an old slab, right? So there was a hole in school, so that hole, because of the the storm, it was knocked down or knocked over by the storm, so it was removed and they left only the foundation, the slab, right? So he used this slab to play football there. So when we were playing football, this one day, what happened is this guy came from the back and then pushed me, right? The way he pushed me was so hard and so unexpected that I went head straight to the floor. So when I went down like that, my hair was removed, like something like this, something maybe of this size, something here. It was removed, right? To never grow back in again, right? So that has been a problem now when I'm cutting my hair, because it's no longer straight like this, but it is like this. Then there is this thing here. So what I've decided is whenever I'm having a haircut, is that they just move back everything now to start wherever this no hair new area is, right? So yesterday I had this barber. I told him what I wanted in my head. I think the guy didn't know. See, you can tell most, right? Even if you don't know how to do something, but I've cut some people's heads before, like hair before. You could tell from that guy. I'm not sure. You could tell that guy doesn't know well what he's doing, right? If a person handles a machine like they're scared, and in your head you don't. Okay, sometimes here's how it differs, right? So whenever you're cutting hair or you have someone cutting your hair, it's sometimes there are people who can cut your hair while you are asleep, right? There are people who are very gently with whatever they're doing, or whenever they're cutting your hair. And there are two possibilities when someone's like that. It's either they are very good and they're artistic with whatever they do on your head, or they are bad, they don't know what they're doing. And that guy was the second part, right? That guy didn't know what he was doing in my head, right? So when he did the thing, he cut my hair and whatever, and then I think these parts were okay, but you see, whenever you're cutting hair, right, where you see this part where there is hair, then you move to an area where there is no hair. Whenever you're making this part, you're supposed to make sure that there are no areas that are more cut than others, right? So you're supposed to make sure that it's a smooth transition from hair to no hair. But that guy didn't know how to do that. And also with the trimming and their glass where you're supposed to look to their mirror, right, wasn't very reflective, right? So it was dirty and there were clouds, so I couldn't see very properly. And whenever you've just had the haircut, I'm not sure what else do to you, you don't see properly. So the guy trimmed me. He went this way, went far in, and then, right? But this way, he just left it as it is, this side. Damn, so I go from there and then come back here, And then I checked the thing on the mirror. Man, it was a disaster, right? I couldn't go anywhere with that thing on my head. So I said, okay, no, let me go back and find another guy who will fix this thing, and then maybe I'll pay twice now, because I can't go back to this guy and say, yo, man, fix this stuff, because it's terrible. He'll continue on doing a terrible job with the thing. So I just went there to another barber, and that guy was pretty quick. The thing is, that guy, okay, there's another form of barbers, the ones who are very hard, to have machines, who press machines on your head. But sometimes it's like this. It's the machine, right? You feel the machine when it's so sharp, when it's moving. Zzz, you see, sometimes they're pressing the machine and the machine is not doing anything and they're just hurting. That guy, his machine was working, so I told him to not do the fade anymore, the new fade where it's more hair here. I told him to move the hair up and then try to fix this trim. So he just moved the hair back to wherever this thing was and connected the thing and tried to fix this side as well. Because this side, the hair just goes in and then goes down, like there's a corner this side, and then this other side there's no corner. That was the issue, that was the problem. So the guy fixed the thing. So I paid 2 barbers to have this haircut done on my head. Pretty eventful day, if you ask me. And another thing, like being broke. See, when you're being broke, the hair on your head, haircut you have on your head, it's one of the last things that you worry about out of your worries, right? So the first thing you worry about is getting food. The second thing is hygiene, making sure that you clean. Then when you broke like me and don't work, so you don't know when the next check is coming in, whatever money that you happen to get, you keep it or you save it to make provisions for whenever one of the two runs out. So whenever you don't have food, use that man, or whenever something cosmetic or whatever, you go buy that. That's how it works. Whenever you broke, that's how things are done. Right? So yesterday I wasn't that broke, so I said, okay, man, let's get a haircut, because I've been looking like I live in the forest. Then yeah, and then the hairline thing is the reason I'm supposed to get haircuts consistently or on a regular basis, because my hair grows out and then grows up, and then it's like it's not the same. It's not it's not the same pattern, and then I look like I'm not sure what I look like. Yeah, that's my haircut story from yesterday. So I paid 2 times the normal price would pay in order to have a haircut. I think it was worth it though, because this haircut, the last time I had this haircut was, I think, grade 12. I was in grade 12 the last time I did this, and I think it goes well with my head or whatever. Yeah, I think I'm done now. I've talked enough. Yeah. Talk to you in the next one. I think I should have this more planned. I'm not sure, because I didn't feel it that much this week. I didn't feel it that much. Okay. See you in the next video or in the next podcast. Talk to you in the next podcast. Go on. Have a beautiful week. It's been so much.